Good evening, everybody. We'll get started. We're going to, as you might expect, this tonight might be cut off a little bit short. We're going to definitely end before 9 o'clock because I know you all know there's an important program on tonight. Not that I would believe that the Steelers could lose, but I know you all want to be able to see what happens there. Anyways, today was, as you saw in the morning comments, it told everybody not to get ready to change positions, that we were still in a downtrend, because there was a couple things that weren't yet fully conclusive. And let me make this, that we were still in a downtrend based upon the stochastics. We weren't quite to a target. We would have seen it a little bit unusual to almost get to the 50-day moving average and start moving up. So I wouldn't doubt that we don't go through maybe 2 or 3 days of kind of bobbing around here on the 50 and the Dow, waiting for the stochastics to get to the oversold area. At the same time, that would give the opportunity for, well, we're pretty close to what I would, let me see if we can do this correctly. Yeah, maybe a little bit more to a support level to get in, or to get as a target. Stochastics almost in the oversold area. And the S&P getting pretty close also to testing the 50-day moving average, still some more downside. So, yeah, I know, Bonnie. So, anyways, that tells us we probably still have a couple more days where it's going to slug around to the downside. Let's see, some of our commodities, crude oil was up for a little bit today. It was up, trading near the top end of yesterday's, or where it opened. I would think, from what it looks like with stochastics, that maybe they're trying to bring it back up to at least the 50 before they make a major move one way or the other. Gold, still just slightly underneath the T-line. Stochastics heading down. Obviously, tomorrow will be an important in the direction of gold based upon how they open it after the doji. And as we can see, the silver, I guess we can make these bigger, where we can see, opened higher right at the T-line, but then faded off. We're still heading down, so we're still not in an uptrend. Eric, yes, we have charts up. All right, what else we got? In the gold, silver, soybeans look like a very good potential buy right here. Notice you got a bullish engulfing signal right here at the T-line, and they're trading a little bit positive. So if they start bringing soybeans up, I'm looking for wheat. As we can see on the wheat chart, we've had this slow, steady downtrend. At some point, if they break through this upside channel, we got another strong pop in effect. Corn, broke out of this kind of very slow, indecisive pullback, popped it again strong. They're trading a little bit lower after hours. Natural gas, I was going to show later, but because it was going to be an illustration on one of the patterns that we're going to be looking at, which is the doji sandwich. And notice the J-hook type pattern, doji sandwich, gap up, told us we were going through this area. That tells us we're probably in a J-hook pattern. Natural gas is going higher. And what else do we have? Cocoa. Cocoa is right down here in the oversold area. It finally just got to the 200. Now we start watching to see what type of signals occur when everybody else sees it's gotten to the 200. Sugar. Doji gap down. Kind of that inverted scoop pattern. Possibly starting wave 3 to the downside. And the dollar is very lethargic. Just kind of going sideways right now. Wouldn't be long or short the dollar. Right. Again, the patterns work out extremely well. As we can see, or obviously as we've seen, the market's been in a pullback, but we've got situations where the pattern is acting stronger than market direction, or the pattern's giving us more strength than market direction. I would still keep WBMD on your watch list if you haven't bought it, based upon that if they can get up through the 50, there's going to be a slingshot effect coming out the other side. We've been in HIG, H-I-G. Also, nice steady uptrend. Pshaw. Hold on for a second. So we've got people still floundering around out there. Bye. Okay, come on. Hold on, we're still got people. All right. Hold on, smoke them if you've got them. Got a couple more people trying to. Okay, I guess that's. No. Well, if this ain't a fine howdy do. There we go. All right. That's taken care of. All right. Sorry about that, folks. Higgs still moving in the right. Now where am I? And ONXX. S dot O N X X. I don't know where these came from. Also staying in the or moving in the right direction, staying above the T line. I think we've got some of the October calls that are working relatively. Get rid of that line. I guess I don't. All right. And BONT has done exactly what we were expecting. It came back doing a J-hook pattern. Still would not be afraid to be buying this, especially on a positive open tomorrow, because a positive open this close to the resistance level means somebody's buying, knowing there's a resistance level right here. I would suspect and possibly even higher. So we're still long this one. Angie was a short and was showing too much strength today. So it closed just above the T line. This is one where it's better to close out the position. If it opens lower tomorrow, you can re-short it. All right, what we were trying to show is some of the, I don't know if everybody had a chance to get into the presentation we did last night, kind of fine-tunes which patterns have a high probability of trading positive the next day. And in the case today, there was quite a few setups that were what we call the doji sandwich, where you have a positive trading day, your stochastics are heading up, so you're in an up. This uptrend started with a little kicker signal that took you up above the T line, and then our very simple rule of a doji. It's going to move in the direction of how they open it after a doji. I know quite a few people, or I say quite a few people in the chat room today made some very good money trading A and R, because when it opened positive, that told you which direction it was going to go. Now, do they always move up 18% in one day? But it puts you in a position where at least you know you have a high probability of moving in the correct direction, number one. Number two, puts you in a situation where you might have a big price move during the day. ACI was another situation. Notice the kicker signal. Took you up above the T line. Have a doji. Opens positive. If you're break out just above the recent highs, do you always get a big move? No, but you get an opportunity to be in positions. The nice thing, or the thing that has made lots of money for me through the years with candlesticks, is doing the patterns and the signals puts me in positions where the probabilities of making big money are much greater than trying to do some of the rounding bottom, and then there's that little doji right here. Notice the percent move over the last 2 days, or 3 days, pretty close to a 15% move. What else do you have? MM was another recommendation that we did. That's not MM. Coming out of this rounding bottom, right at the break. It's pulled back, but held right above the T line. This one is still going to go higher because we've already broken out. Again, this is kind of reiterating the fact that when you're using candlestick signals, you're using the graphic depiction of where investor sentiment has worked many times in the past. Let's see. Yes, the day trade data was awesome. Did quite well in Apple today. All right, good, Glenn. Link doesn't. I will get that fixed somehow. I don't know why it's not working. But here's another case where they gap it up. If we know the simple rules of our signals, a doji, if it opens positive the next day, tells us the selling has stopped, which in this case, the next day, if it was trading positive, told us the selling has stopped. Not a great day. However, you were rewarded today by the fact that this gapping up is telling you exactly what's going on. People are very anxious to get this position. CNX. CNX, a doji, right about at the breakout level, opens positive. At least you know you're in a high probability situation that you're moving in the right direction. Not necessarily always expecting a big price move that first day, but at least knowing that you have the probability if there is a big price move or big price moves in the market, you're going to be sitting in them. So what's the risk reward for this type of trading? And we showed quite a few of these based upon day trading, but if you see these type of situations setting up, and there's 10 of them, it doesn't hurt just to put buy stops up here, because what's going to happen? If the market acts right, like it did today, and you've got 10 buy stops, some of them are going to start hitting early in the morning, or start hitting fairly early, and you're going to be running profits. What's the worst case scenario? You're going to have to close out a few of them before the end of the day. However, by the time you close them out, you may be up a good 2, 6, 7, 8 grand for the day. All right, good, Alice. Yes, and there's nothing wrong with taking profits on the close if you've got some big gains there. Worst case scenario, you can always buy back in the next day. We recommended LOEP today on a positive open. All right, it didn't do very much, but notice what it did do. A doji makes this very simple. If they open this positive tomorrow, you want to be buying still. Is it going to be a big breakout? You don't have any idea, but at least you know you probably have a potential of another price move of this magnitude to the upside. Let's see. And, I mean, we got a bunch of these. EDU was another one that we recommended a couple of days ago. Not that EDU. Because of this little rounding bottom. Notice what we had here, left-right combination. This one you want to be buying. We recommended this a while back. Kind of reiterated it in the last couple of days to say that as long as it stays above the T-line, this is probably your target. Filling this gap over here. Again, we're trying to find the situations that are going to put us in high probability situations where if something big is going to happen, we were in the charts that give us that potential. CDE. I've held this one in a few long-term accounts now because it was a steady eddy. Didn't really close. This was my only scary day. I just said, all right, if it opens lower tomorrow, we close out the position. It never did. We're still in it. If this opens positive tomorrow, you probably want to be a buyer. Yeah, that again might have to add a little bit of politicking in your evaluations, depending on which party gets voted in to the White House. That if one doesn't seem very friendly to coal stocks and the other one does, depending on the polls, will give you a good idea or what type of reaction it's going to create into some of those in the coal stocks. All right, here's a nice big fry pan bottom. We don't recommend a less than a $5 stock very often, but this one has enough volume that it started breaking out, pulled back. I'd watch for a double doji, which means kind of 2 indecisive trading days, pulling back to the 50. If it opens positive tomorrow, you want to be buying immediately. You've got that double doji, which is the same type of setup as a doji sandwich, where if it opens positive and has a big day, it's probably going to be at least the same magnitude as that one. Yes, when you can make 15, 16% in position in one day, at least take half of it and put it in your pocket. This stock is OTT. Boyle. There's that doji sandwich. Doji right here at about a breakout level. Opens positive. They're going to move it positive. That's when you want to start buying some of these. Now, that's different than buying something when your stochastics are in the oversold area and you're looking for a buy signal. When you're breaking out of a pattern, you're probably going to do it when your stochastics are in the overbought situation. SEMG. Well, shuzzbutts, what's happening here? That's when it's not coming up. That's why is it coming up over here? Well, that ain't a fine howdy do. S.SEMG. Won't come up over here. Another one that had a nice doji sandwich today was SEMG, an oil and gas pipeline. HWD. HWD is another one that is essentially a breakout situation. Stochastic still heading up, J-hook pattern, and where is it as far as a technical level? Let's do this. All right. Pretty much drawing a line right down through the tops. If this comes up through here, we're breaking out of this wave and starting into a new wave. Now, the reason you want to find something that's starting into a new wave is because everybody else has been watching this, bobbing back and forth in a trend. It's either going to fail here and go down, but if it breaks out, everybody else is going to see that it's breaking out and starting to go positive on it. Same scenario on the downside. That when you kind of see these roll over, now this was more of a doji on TCNet, that when you see that doji gap down, there's still going to be a lot more downside to this one. SWSO. SWC. Doji gap down. Now look where it is. Right here where the 200 and the 50 are crossing. Stochastics rolling over. Supported here before. Makes this very simple. You've got a lot of force with a doji gap down. Because remember, that's our best friend. If this opens lower tomorrow, you want to be shorting it. Because there's still more downside. One, doji, look at the rollover, doji gap down. If this opens weaker tomorrow, you want to be shorting it. And GY. Another one, rolling over, right here on the 50. If this opens below or lower, next target is potentially down here, the 200. Okay. We like these type of situations. Notice how call kind of rolled over, came down big, failed to get back up above the T-line, rolled over. So that investment psychology is always there. Here we have a big downtrend in OVTI. It's come up, can't get through the T-line. I'd put a sell stop right down here, which would be around 1375, 1380. If it came down through there, you want to be shorting it with the possibility that you're going to wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 down into this area. They're rising, but remember, stochastics are only telling you where you are in a trend. It's the pattern and the signals that tell you what's going on in investor sentiment. And HAIN, rolling over, doji, bearish engulfing signal. Where is this one most likely going to? Probably heading for the 200. Whoops. WBC, bearish engulfing after a gap down. This gets to the 200. They're bringing it all the way down into this area. This is all based upon these gap downs and closing below the T-lines. Bearish candle and closing below the T-line. This is not rocket science. This is just putting the probabilities in your favor. And what else we got here? CNQR. There's that gap down. There's your doji sandwich, telling us there's going to be a lot more downside to this one. Notice the dumpling top. Now they're just starting to gap this down. This is the ones where you want to start looking to go short, especially with some options. You want to be looking to put spreads on this one. All right, let's switch back to a couple longs that look good right now. GFA is doing the proverbial scoop pattern right off the 50-day moving average. I wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on strength using the halfway point of this candle as my stop, or definitely any trading back below the T-line. But the scoop, bouncing off the 50, this is the uptrend, staying above the 50, pulling back to the 50. Now your next uptrend could probably take you up into the $7, $8 range. What is that one? Who wrote that? I haven't. Oh, this is one that Kunar came up with today. J.C. Penney, kind of little star right on the T-line with a gap up. I'd suspect you're coming right back up to the 200-day moving average. BIOF is one that people have been making some money with. Made money over here. Now it's pulled back, staying just above the T-line. There was a reason for showing this one today, and I don't know what it is right now. So I'm guessing we got an illustration right here of kind of that little double doji setup. But since it's not as clear on this chart, we'll move on rapidly. CAMP. Another J-hook patterns right on the coming right off the T-line. Start this strong uptrend with a kicker signal. There's your J-hook pattern. And a couple more on the long side. There's your best friend. Doji gap up. What's this one going to do? This one's going to come up to the top of the trading range and then do a 45. So there's some good profit margin in this one. A few more words on stochastics and their importance or not to the candlestick signal. Number one, your signal is the top priority. That's what we're looking at as far as what the Japanese rice trade has been showing us. Where is it occurring in the trend? That's what stochastics come in. Now, just because you stochastics are secondary. You still look at your signal first. So not the whole. Just because you. I'm going to say this. Just because you see a buy signal in an oversold area, you still need to see confirmation. Or, if it doesn't confirm, you could still be in a downtrend for another 2 days, months, 2 years. So we'll see more of that as we go through. How much weight do you put on weekly charts? None. I'm not going to be in for long term, so I'm only looking at the daily charts. I want to know what's going to happen over the next 2 to 10 trading days. Do stochastics ever override? Stochastics help in such as which direction the market was going today. Remember, we opened up and we had a strong bullish move, but it wasn't convincing in the fact that the stochastics weren't anywhere. They're still heading in a downtrend. That just told us that we probably were just seeing a bounce in an uptrend. Now, had this type of day occurred with stochastics much closer to the oversold area, it probably would have let's see, did we do PVTB? Yes. PVTB, you might see that on our recommended list. And then ROVI. Whoops, there's your doji, bullish confirmation, bullish engulfing, bullish harami, bullish confirmation. I would suspect you can start buying this one using the T-line as your stop with the anticipation we're coming back up at least to test the T-line again. All right, some of the shorts that we've got that you just stay short until you see a buy signal. JCOM. We're heading down, and this traded way up or opened up here. Two different charts. Came right back down because it wasn't convincing that unless they kept it up here, we were still in a downtrend. So that's why that's why a candlestick buy signal is credible when you see it in an oversold condition. It's not as credible if you see you're in a downtrend, and you better wait to see what the end of that day is showing. TCU, another one that has, ever since that bearish engulfing signal right here at the 50, this was kind of observe the obvious. The obvious was we're in a downtrend. It hit the 50, did a bearish engulfing signal. We're still in a downtrend. I would suspect you could draw this line right here to tell you where your target is. And when it gets there, then you can see what type of trading occurs at that level. SWI, stay short until you see a buy signal. Good possibility you could be heading into this area. There's still a little gap to be filled down at that area. SPLS, stay short until you see a buy signal. We shorted this one, or recommended shorting this one today, except it opened higher. Just finally closed lower on the day. If it opens lower tomorrow, tells you the bears are still there. You want to be shorting this one. And BSFT was another one that we recommended going short. It traded up most of the day and closed down here. Kind of a doji, that gravestone doji, which makes this very simple. If this opens lower tomorrow, you start shorting immediately. Let's see. HMA. This one, I'm looking at this because it was obvious when it was time to go short. Right in here. Where was the target? Right down here to the 50. Stochastics almost to the overbought or oversold area. Just start watching to see if this isn't time to start looking to buy. Want to see some signals. If you see it bob here for a couple of days with the T-line coming down here, then you're looking for that bullish candle that takes you back up through the T-line. You can start buying. So this one should be on your watch list, that you're seeing a potential buy signal or getting toward an oversold area. This one, you go on your buy list watch for that. Watch for the buy signal. Netflix. Did it close that positive? Notice that after the kind of the island reversal, abandoned baby, stochastics heading down. Not real forceful just yet, but definitely would be shorting this if it came down through 64.90, coming down through the T-line. That tells me they're probably coming all the way back down to test this level right here. And Fossil was another one that opened up higher today, touched the 50, and came back down. Another very simple one. If this opens lower tomorrow, you want to be shorting. Because if it breaks through this, I don't know what this line is. There we go. If it breaks through this area, there's a gap to fill that will take you all the way back down to the 70 range. And ANN is one that we recommended a while back to go short and stay short as long as it doesn't close above the T-line, which more than likely is it's going to keep pulling back until where? Until it hits the 50-day moving average. Yes, Apple. Same scenario. It opened positive today. Now, this is where the T-line helps you extremely well. We've had a hammer, we've had a doji, we had a gap up, but the gap up was right there at the T-line. Is this a time to cover, or is this a time to not only cover your short but buying? Well, that's what the T-line gives us the roadmap to do. Once it opened, if it started moving positive, what did that tell us? There was that positive gap up and the T-line was not acting as resistance. On the other hand, it gapped up. What was the first thing we started seeing? It started backing off. So if I was short Apple, which I'm not, I don't trade Apple, and I saw it open here, I'd have to wait a few minutes to see whether it's going this way or this way. In this case, when they started backing it off, I knew my decision was pretty easy at that point. But if they were moving it this way, I'm going to put a buy stop one tick above where it opened, because if it came back up through there, that tells us that was in a bullish trend. Let's see, we did in FCG. Whoops. CSG, how's that? Well, showspots. OSG, okay. Who scribbles this stuff? Okay, another rounding top, and we are just now breaking below this level. This one you can short. Good percentage possibility to the downside. Probably and this is, if you're wondering what to do, just go to your short-term charts very quickly to see what type of trading is happening immediately. And there it was. So this is the 10-minute chart. The 5-minute chart. Opened it, bobbled around, started coming back, and just never picked up any steam after that. Where was somebody else had a nice chart today on a 5-minute basis? Oh, I think it was Galen. I can't remember which stock it was. Okay, so anyways, with the market, that's the 5-minute chart. We don't want that. Telling us that there wasn't any strength, tomorrow will be an indicative day. If they open this positive tomorrow, you've got an inverted hammer. Still not quite in the oversold area, but the inverted hammer is an extremely high probability signal that if they open this positive and take it up, or start taking it up again, that's probably a signal, and that tells us we are probably close now to the 50-day moving average, that people are now changing their minds. Let's see. I don't know how to get. Oh, maybe I do know how to get transports out here. Transports kept failing at the 50. Same scenario. We're right on the T line, smack dab on the T line with a gravestone, doji, or shooting star, whatever you want to call it, but indecisive. They're going to tell us what they're going to do by how they open this tomorrow. Was it NAV? Maybe that was... No, somebody had one where the 5-minute chart was just as plain as all get out. Yeah, that's nothing real exciting one way or the other. Galen, are you on here? Good money in today. Oh, don't see Galen in here. All right. All right. Video did a doji sandwich. Let's take a gander here. Yep, don't see it. All right. Okay. Thought he made it in another one. That kind of traded down and then traded up in the afternoon. But anyways, it doesn't matter. We'll carry right along here. All right. So with the if this opens lower, you've got some good situations where if they open lower, that you've got some where they could be pulling the plug and taking them down pretty hard. All right, so that's about all I've got for the. See, a couple announcements. We are going to be doing a session on October 27th, probably going to be 2 hours, on how to do your scans and then how to sort for the best possible trade out of the scans that you came up with. We can't fit it into a 1 hour, so we'll do it probably on a Saturday. And because of the people that couldn't get to the Cuca Lake private training, we are going to be doing a private training on November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th here in Houston. So if you need details on that, email me. I've got a couple of your emails already. I'll get back to you tomorrow. But I'll definitely give you the... Got exactly 10 minutes. So, Rick, are you doing this session? If you want to do the double line, we'll do 10 minutes worth, and then obviously we all want to see what's going on in the political arena. Can you scan for the Bearish Doji sandwich? Yes. As a matter of fact, today Jennifer came up with some formulas for scanning for both the. So we're fine-tuning it, and we'll be glad to get it out to everybody. All right, Rick, do the second double lines. All right, send me an email, steve@candlestickforum.com, and send me your phone number. I'll get back to you and give you all the details. Oops. Rick, do the second double line. We're never going to... I can't even stop people from scrolling. All right, scrolling. Sprint, gapped up. If it opens positive, you can be a buyer. Groupon also came up today. This one, if it opens positive, you want to be a buyer. Essentially broke up through the. Notice the 50 and the T-line are matching right here. This opens positive. You're in an uptrend. I'm going to try to run through these quick. Lulu, if this opens lower tomorrow, you want to be shorting it with the anticipation of heading down to the moving averages. PCS, this one's a hard one. I wouldn't own it long and I wouldn't short it. I'd wait to see what oversold area. GLG, whoops, S dot GLG. Another one that is slowly rolling over. Stochastics heading down. If this one opens lower tomorrow, you want to be shorting it. And silver, same scenario. They're rolling the T-line. Las Vegas Sands, another one that if it opens lower, you start shorting. Notice how the stochastics are now just getting to the oversold area. If you see it bob around on here, that's maybe where they've taken it back to. Notice they brought it up to the 50, took it right back to the 50. Took it up to the 200, brought it back to the 50. If they take it back up, look for them to take it right back up to the 200. This one you can short on any weakness tomorrow. Oracle, double doji. Notice a doji failed up here. If this opens lower tomorrow, you start shorting immediately. They're probably taking it down to the 200. AB. There's a nice rounding bottom. That's, if it opens positive, obviously it's breaking out into new territory. Oh, good one, David. And GTE, another one that if this one opens positive, it's breaking out through the 200. The second time, that one could have some good running room to it. Another good one. Eesh, no way. Ford, stay in this as long as it stays above the T-line. CLF. This one is kind of run out of steam. You're in a pennant formation. I wouldn't be long or short this one right now, only because it doesn't have a good flow. I'd trade something else. Now, that doesn't mean you give up on these. Sometimes a pattern that doesn't do anything, but 2 months later, now they have a perfect trading pattern again. LQDT, wouldn't buy it yet, but I would buy it if they could get it up through the T-line. You do have bottoming signals in here, obviously. Now, the worst case scenario is you buy it. If it fails here at the Cooper Tire, gap up, tells you a story. All you have to do now is wait to see when the profit taking is over, and then you can start buying. Yum. This one's not good in the sense that, well, it's not good yet. You got to wait to see when the profit taking is over on this one. MTW, this one you short on any weakness. Bearish engulfing signal, doji, more weakness. If they open this lower, they're opening below the 50. Looks like a kind of a head and shoulders setup. BB. Whoops. Just stay out of it until you see a buy signal and a close above the T-line. Remember, the longer this downtrend persists, the more compelling your reversal signal needs to be. Leap. another one that doesn't really have any strength to it yet. You're still below the T-line. Obviously, you're on a support level, but you need something to show you the bulls have stepped in, and it's not there yet. CENX, short. Probably this one's going to kind of fade until it hits the 50. Let's see, Schlumberger. This one did gap up. This one's got that potential flutter kicker, so if it opens positive, you can be buying immediately. Flutter kicker setup is a high probability situation. Another one right here where you have a flutter kicker setup that if it opens positive, we did Las Vegas Sands. Bank of America, as long as it stays above the T-line, you want to continue to hold this one. TDW. Lots of dojis down here. It needs to open positive and trade positive to get into it. Goodyear, this one you stay short until you see a buy signal and a close above the T-line. But you want to be shorting this one on any weakness tomorrow. Kind of that berry scoop pattern. And Radio Shack. It's way down in the dumpers here. I can remember trading Radio Shack at 35. But it did gap up, did pull back, and it did tell us that the selling had stopped. You can be buying this one on positive trading. Just watch. Last had a good earnings report. This one you can be buying on positive trading. And probably use the halfway point of this candle because if it comes back down below the 200, you probably want to be back out until they can take it back up again. All right, we did soda. OVTI is one that needs to get above the T line to another downdraft. So obviously you're getting a series of dojis in the oversold area, but until you see that close up above the T line, you don't want to go long, and you can possibly. This would be a case where you can put your buy stop up here and your sell stop down here in case they break it out either way. AFFY for a short. I wouldn't. Your stochastics are still coming up. Tomorrow they're going to be up here, so you got to just be kind of conscious of the fact that they're in an uptrend. They haven't reversed it. There might be profit taking, and that profit taking might be a hammer type signal or a doji. So if you do a double doji signal, be ready to buy it on positive trading. I would rather be shorting something that's had, this type of activity versus this type of activity. Remember, we haven't seen a sell signal in this one. All right, we're just about ready to start here on RDN. I'd be trading something else right now. It's not giving us any great indication one way or the other than sideways. Fluor, you can be shorting this one on any weakness. FedEx with the gap up. Meeting line, but you're still heading up. This one can still be bought on positive trading. Just be aware of what your potential is. It's not a very high profit moving stock. This could be an evening star, except you're coming out of a pattern. I would suspect more that you're doing a J-hook coming out of a fry pan versus. This would be more of an evening star had you seen a trend that looked like this, then all of a sudden you saw an evening star. This is just kind of profit taking on the initial breakout. And one more, and then we'll go watch the Steelers, won't we? And we've been most boringest looking stocks that we could have. That wouldn't be long or short this one. So with that, when you say open higher or lower, do you mean the closing price or include the shadow? No, the closing price. Stochastics are 12.33. All right, we're going to call it a night, so we can go see some important stuff, like touchdowns. Chat rooms tomorrow.